when you seek a bliss, you can seek it in one or two ways. One is from the Tao, from the Creator, and that will be good. And then another is you could seek it in your life. Okay, we have a follow-up question, which is, so it seems that Shen and bliss is all about emotion. And that's right, and it pretty much has to be about emotion, because your spirit, did you have a spirit before you learned to speak English?
Yes.
Yeah, and I had a spirit before I learned to speak English and Chinese. Did you have a spirit before you had a body, before you were born? Yes. Okay, so that means your spirit's communication and understanding can possibly be based on language, and it can be based on what your body senses. Does that make sense? So it's not just touch, sound, and stuff like that. So before you have these things, does your spirit dream?
I would say no. I mean, nope, that's the physical body's dreaming.
Yeah, and so before you have a body, before all of this, what did your spirit have?
Bliss.
Bliss, yeah. And so before all these things, you had these feelings. And so emotion is a language that predates body and language. And if you talk about like in Buddhism, Hinduism, and reincarnation and stuff like that, it is emotion that makes people incarnate or reincarnate.
Emotions, desires, they say.
You finish one life and you're like, oh, I should have been a better daughter. And then maybe that longing makes you have another life where you could be a better daughter. Or maybe you finish your life and go, I wish I was a Wall Street banker for whatever reason. I really want to do that. So, okay, well, next time we'll do that. And so it is feelings and desires that causes us to enter the cycle of existence. And so before you exist, it is these feelings. And so when you seek a bliss, you can seek it in one or two ways. One is from the Tao, from the Creator, and that will be good. And then another is you could seek it in your life, and that is less effective, but it is the thing that happens that we do. And sometimes it's good to experience it in life, so you have a context to seek it from the source.
But even seeking love in life is never the same as when you get it from the source, because it's never at the same level as the bliss on
but it's a stepping stone sometimes.
Right, it's a stepping stone.
Like, if you're raised by wolves and you're missing some kind of parental experience, right? Then if you've been rescued from the wolves and your doctor tells you like, oh, well, just be more loving to other humans, and you're like,
yeah, I was gonna say you start itching.
You start chewing on them.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
But when someone shows you that in the physical world, and you go, oh, that feels nice, and I want more of that, and you may seek more of that from more people, and eventually you realize, and I can have that, I can give that, and as you go into yourself, way beyond the inside yourself to the source of all of these things, then you could find it within and from the source, from the Creator. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So sometimes we need the physical experience, or it's very helpful to have the physical experience as a context. If you're trying to fix your car's not working, right? And you go on Google, how do I fix my car? Is that going to work very good for your car
Not
repair?
for me personally.
Now, if you knew a little bit more about cars, how do I fix my radiator that won't cool down? That's a little bit better.
Right.
How do I change my oil? And then if you know, how do I change my oil when my oil cap is stuck? Then that gets better. So how do you get that? You get it by having context, right? By
experience.
having experience, right? And I love you said that experience. If you watch all of this, you've received a lot of information, right?
Correct. A lot of information.
Is it useful?
It's useful if I practice it and experience it.
Yes. So when you have information and you practice it, then you get to have experience. And when you have information and experience, you get knowledge. So I would say that, oh, Sancho, you're very knowledgeable on arts and crafts, clay, ceramics, these things like that, right? And I have some information about ceramics I've read before, but I have no knowledge. I don't do it. So you have knowledge of it. But you have more than that. when you have information, you practice, then you have experience. When you have experience and information together, you have knowledge. The word knowledge is know, K-N-O-W, and then ledge, right? How do you know something?
You know it by doing it.
You know it by doing it.
You can read about it, but then you have to do it. It's
Right.
just different from reading to actually doing something. It's like reading about riding a horse.
Right.
Unless you get on the horse and you feel the horse, you're not
Right.
going to be a very good horseback rider.
So you know by experiencing. If you're blind and say, the sky is blue, you said, okay, I now know the sky is blue. Well, kind of, you have the information, but you don't really know what blue is like.
Correct.
If I said, imagine riding a hippopotamus, no context. I don't even know what their skin feels like, right?
Too dangerous.
Now, once you have experience, you have knowledge. And if you have knowledge and you practice some more, then what do you have?
Knowledge and you practice it. Then you have experience, and then you have, if it's the right knowledge, it could be wisdom.
That's right, exactly right. So teenagers are never really that wise, and they cannot be because they lack enough experience, enough practice to have wisdom. Wisdom means that you've known this and you've seen this enough times, you kind of know where that road is leading, right? And say, oh, don't do that, please. That's your wisdom.
Correct. But they think they know.
Yeah. So knowledge is like, wisdom is like super knowledge, accumulated knowledge that lets you understand and predict how things are going. So yeah, what we want is to have these emotions, right? But having experienced it gives you a knowledge, gives you a context. So now you know how to Google search from the source, from the matrix, exactly what you want that is available to you. God's grace. You could forget about it. You could have lost track of it. But if you experience a little bit, you could find it. You could search for more and have more of that for your shen and align your life. Make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that was a pretty good follow-up question. Good job asking that. Thank you. And
Thank
thanks for helping me illustrate. Thanks for watching.